They see the attractive photos, and of course, millennials are very picky, so they love to see all the bells and whistles. And when they see it nicely staged, they like that too, because then they can start to envision their own furnishings in the home. And then, of course, when they get there, there's that emotional connection, or they see themselves, they start to get a little bit of an idea.
What if I told you there's one strategy move that can make your listing sell faster for more money and with fewer price reductions without changing the square footage? Welcome back to the Real Estate Roundtable, where we bring you the people, strategies, and insights shaping today's real estate market. Today's guest is someone who doesn't just stage homes. She engineers buyer emotion. With over 20 years in real estate marketing and design, she's been named one of the top 100 most influential people in real estate staging, contributes to the National Association of Realtors Styled, Staged, and Sold blog, and is a true pioneer in virtual staging. Joining us from Atlanta is Krisztina Bell, founder of No Vacancy Home Staging and Virtual Staging Properties, Inc. If you're an agent, seller, or investor who wants your listings to stand out, convert, and command stronger offers, this episode is for you. Krisztina, take us back. What first pulled you into staging and real estate marketing, and what did you see early on that others were missing?
I actually got my real estate license here in the state of Georgia in 2003, by the way, and I ended up selling just a few listings, but it turned out people kept asking me, and my friends and agent colleagues were like, "You make the listings look so good. Why don't you open up a staging business?" And I'm like, that's interesting. Never thought about that. And I am good at marketing, and I do know how to make homes look more marketable. And I did all my listings that way on my own when I first started. And again, my colleagues in the office are like, "Christina, you really should do it." And believe it or not, I actually started out doing a home management business first, like show homes, but ended up going into the staging in 2005 and bought a few pieces of furniture, decor, started in the basement of our house. And here we are. My husband joined the team with me, and 20 years later, just celebrating 20 years last year, we literally stage a house every day. We specialize in the staging of vacant homes. And so far, it's worked out really well. And spring season has already started here in Atlanta. We skipped winter. We're already in spring. We skipped it completely this year. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. With the cold front that just hit us, it already feels like spring. It's 60 degrees outside, guys. Welcome to Florida and Georgia, probably. What were listings like before staging was common?
Empty, vacant, not very organized, lots of clutter probably. I think with the HGTV shows that came out in 2010, 13, and people started to better understand the Property Brothers use staging now. Everybody uses some form of staging. It just took time, even though staging's been around since 1970s, okay? And here we are so many years later, and finally, even investors and builders, they get it. They know that they're going to have to make this investment in order for their properties to sell and to get top dollar for them. And finally, I'm like, thank God. Now they understand that they have to spend a couple $1,000s or $3,000 or however big the house is to really make it look more marketable. And it gives them great marketing photos too, if they're a builder or a flipper for their next project. So there's many benefits of home staging for sure.
What mistakes were costing sellers money back then?
If they didn't stage a home, you basically be sitting longer days on market. You're going to get lowball offers. It's the photos now. It's not so much the curb appeal driving by. It's now the photos online. It's the web appeal. It's the telling of a story of a home now. It's all about storytelling right now, especially this year. And now the sellers are wanting agents to either help or pay for staging. They get that they need it, especially if their house is dated or is not up to date, for sure.
And in today's market, why does sellers?
Because now it's all the internet, as I mentioned. It's all about the photos. It's driving that buyer traffic to the listing. And hence we brought about virtual staging in 2008, and it's very similar. You want to drive the buyer traffic there, that you want them to come into a warm and inviting environment. You want them to connect to the house. not look at maybe its flaws. Not every house is perfect, as we know, but also they want to get top dollar. If it's a high-end home that they've put a lot of money into or updated with nice light fixtures and things like that, you want to show it off, and staging is going to do that. Plus, two, don't forget appraisal value. You want a really good appraisal value, and staging will also help with that, especially if they've painted, neutralized the home, and did those few updates to it. That counts. And appraisers do look at that. And you might also, another benefit of staging in my CE class that I teach is the fact that staging can help you get higher appraisal value too.
That is awesome. I didn't think about that way. Good point, guys. That's a golden nugget
Right.
for you. It helps appraisal values. That's a good one because we have that all the time. Like I help flippers sell their homes. Amazing, gorgeous job, great tile, great design, everything, and it's not staged; it's vacant, and we get beat up by appraisers all the time. I bet you that we could win a few $1,000s by spending a few $1,000s.
Yep.
Gain with that if we would stage, and it's worth it. At the end of the day, it will sell faster, and that's carried cost that you don't have to worry about as an investor. Right. How does staging impact buyer psychology online vs in person?
They see the attractive photos, and of course, millennials are very picky, so they love to see all the bells and whistles. And when they see it nicely staged, they like that too, because then they can start to envision their own furnishings in the home. And then, of course, when they get there, there's that emotional connection, or they see themselves, they start to get a little bit of an idea if the house has some character to it, if it's mid-century modern or if it's contemporary. For us, staging wise, we're always using furnishings that cater to the style of the home, but not too trendy, because we want to appeal to the broadest range of potential buyers. You don't want to limit it. And what I found these days is I know everybody's going for that contemporary look right now, and they want contemporary and very modern, but that's not exactly what families looking for, or young couples. They can't afford really nice high-end modern type furnishings. So we take more what I call a soft contemporary approach to it. But I will say that now everybody wants the more casual comfort type feel when they walk into a home. We're still dressing it up, making it look pretty, but we're not doing it so high end that people feel like, oh my God, I can't buy furniture like this to live here. You have to be careful with that, but they want it to look like a model home. They want to walk in and see all the fabulous furniture along with the great light fixtures and such too. The buyers are a little bit pickier because half is millennial, the other half is going to be your older aging baby boomer that's going to Florida. So keep that in mind.
Oh, for sure. The thought on that aspect of things, I've toured multiple new construction homes that are staged, Horton, Lenard, et cetera, et cetera. We have a lot of builders in our area. And when you tour those homes, they're staged really nicely. And I know DR gets their furniture from City Furniture. I like that aspect of it because you could go in and say, hey, and you could go to, let's say, City Furniture. If you do the same thing and you furnish your home, I would love the option to say you could buy with furniture or without furniture, and here's the packet that you would order from this vendor, or et cetera, et cetera. Because a lot of times people don't have the imagination or the time to go out and purchase these stuff. So if it's already done for them, it's like, I just want the keys. Can I take everything here? Do you do that, by the way? Do you sell furniture too, if it comes to that? Is that a tough one?
Interestingly enough, I think it's possible that this could become a future trend. There are stagers nationwide. I'm friends with some of them. I go to the conferences in Las Vegas, and I've met a ton of people that stage all over from California, Texas. And so some of them do offer a package of you can purchase the furnishings. Now, my husband and I were like, listen, I just focus and stay in my lane. I stage vacant houses all day long. That's all I do. I am not a furniture company. Okay. And every piece that I find, I don't want to give it up and sell it. Hence, we have a relationship for 6 years now with a nonprofit called Furnish with Love. So I'd rather go back to better use in a home that is for somebody coming out of homelessness. So that's the approach I take. And plus two, I just don't want to have to worry about charging retail costs and all this. It's just, we did not want to be in the furniture business. We just wanted to stay in the staging business, basically. But I will say that has come up in some other podcast shows and some other topics nationwide, that it could be that we see some staging companies start to offer this with a QR code or something in each of the rooms that has the package, what you're talking about, of all the pieces of furniture that they could go buy or get, or comes with the home. So it's definitely out there. People are doing it. It's just not like a trend, but it's definitely, I think, gonna one day we'll probably get there.
I know that when you go to a city, you say, I want the D.R. Horton package in this house, they'll give you that package. It's just pretty, I think it's cool for people that don't have the time or the taste to furnish a house. And they're like, we're coming from a rental. We want to get rid of all our old furniture. We want all new furniture because now we're stepping up the game and I want something cool and I love everything how it looks. And here's the opportunity. You could go and buy it at that store. I think that's incredible. It's good for people because convenience. That's one of the things we sell in our business is convenience.
Yeah.
Hey, I want that couch and that light and that everything. It's okay. Here's the QR, as you said, and go get it. Yeah. You order it. By the time you close in 3-4 months, it will be here.
Yeah, it's like an Amazon type approach. Get it, place an order, get it online real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what does staging do to days on market and offer strength?
As far as days on market, definitely home staging would help to make it fewer days on market. Now, to be most effective, though, is that you definitely, I'm not talking stage the home after you have it listed. You want to stage the home before you list it and put it on the market. And so typically, like for example, here in Atlanta, most of the agents want to stage that property Monday, Tuesday, the latest, have the photographer come out Wednesday, get the photos and get it up into the system on your multiple listing service by Friday, the latest, to capture those buyers that might be looking on the weekend. And that definitely helps quite a bit and is always a good benefit because you want to get the photos up because it's the photo they're going to be looking online. And then that's when the phone rings and you want to take them to go look at the properties as well. So photos and having a great photographer is huge. And I always advise agents is have a good vendor list because that is your marketing team for all your listings. Your handyman, your pressure washer guy, and your landscaping and stagers on there too, as well as a really good photographer because they all got to work together to make that listing most effective and look really good. It's about storytelling too. So the more photos you got, the better. The community, the dog park, the restaurants, do it all, not just the house itself, because you might have a higher percentage of, I think more and more every year, the percentage of out-of-state buyers or live out of the country type, they're always moving in. Sometimes they can't come to look at properties in person.
Oh, yeah. Buying sales going on for sure.
Yeah.
What are the big...
it costs too much money. I don't need to do it. Yeah, okay. Stay on market another month and you just made 2 or 3 more mortgage payments that could have paid for staging. In some instances, they think their furniture looks great. If it looks like grandma's antiques in there, that's not gonna work. And believe it or not, here in Atlanta, some agents literally, I almost call it like they kick their sellers out and go find them another house or stick them in a VRBO to live for while their house is on the market and have us come in and stage it just because the furniture was that bad. And they just don't see it necessary. But I think times have changed. And I'm seeing less and less in that. We have an online staging quote tool that people can go to 24/7 on our website. We're very tech savvy, my husband and I, and believe it or not, it used to be just 95% agents going on there getting quotes. It's now about 60-40 split because it's about 60% agents and the other 40 is now builders, investors, and sellers on their own going online and trying to get the next staging quote because they know that staging is definitely important and needs to be included to get their home to sell faster. They want to move on. People need to continue moving on in their lives and they're ready to go. It's like an Amazon a little bit. We took a little bit of an Amazon approach because you get the quote 15 seconds or less. You can sign a contract in less than a minute and get on our schedule and we're good to go. So, yeah.
And you stage all over or just in Georgia?
I stage just in Georgia in about a 40-mile radius all of where we're located, which is not quite North Georgia. We're close to about 4 major highways. So we got really lucky with our location of a warehouse space. Yeah, we can cover quite a bit of territory.
I'm also a certified building contractor and I'm planning on starting building my own houses. If I would want to hire you as a full-time stager for my homes that I build, would you volunteer for something like that? Would you do that for me? Or would I have to find somebody in Florida to do it for me?
There's some great stagers in Florida that I could recommend. There's a good one in Tampa, actually, believe it or not. But I don't know if they would come out further there. There's also another stager who's huge in Orlando area too. Yeah, that'd be a little bit far. My dad asked me to, and I'm like, sorry, Dad, I can't go all the way down there. That's too far. That's a lot of mileage. That would be a lot of mileage.
Vacation.
Let's be franchised, but that's not in the cards. We have some other plans. And
That's cool. If a seller says the house is clean, that should be enough. What do you tell them?
as far as clean, it's clean, but it's not really clean.
No. As in, hey, it's clean. That should be enough. What do you want me to do? Like, why should I put furniture in here? Why should I change this stuff up? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, gotcha. I don't know if it's a magic line as much as that's where the agent really needs to. These days, the agents, there's flat fee agents and all that, but then there's agents that charge commission and they expect a lot from that agent. And it is the agent's job to show them the comps. Listen, Mr. Seller, look at XYZ that's about within a mile or so of your house. That one's staged, or it's neutralized or they painted inside. The big thing I promote, I teach a paint CE class to agents so they're not scared to suggest paint colors to clients. And if they don't want to do anything, they're like, nope, not going to do staging, not going to do anything at all. If there's one thing they can do for the greatest return on investment is paint. At least paint it neutral. If you can. If you have the money, then do that. If you don't have the money for staging, then that doesn't matter as long as they paint, because then that's less that the buyer is going to ask for off the price of the house. And showing them the comps and making them understand this is our competition. You want to stand out from the competition. Hence, in some instances, we talk about virtual staging because it can make your listing stand out online and not be just a bunch of empty vacant photos that somebody's going to flip through really fast. Whereas when there's nice, attractive photos that show either virtual furnishings or show actual furnishings in the home, that's what's going to drive the buyer traffic there to the property. And also too, agents sometimes will take their clients to other open houses or listings in the neighborhood and say, do you see what I'm talking about? See how it's nicely staged? And you're like, you like it? Yeah, this is what we need to accomplish in your home. And then also too, in my home staging C class, I provide, because an agent asked me, is there any way you can give me like a quick list or just some basic items to get the seller to start maybe clearing out some clutter and doing some landscaping or doing a little bit of painting and such.
I wrote a book on that. It's right here behind me. Download from my website.
There you
if
go.
You want to use it, get the PDF from my website. It's free, guys.
Yes.
Knock yourselves out. You're known as a pioneer in virtual staging. Where does it truly shine and where can it go wrong?
That was one of the hot or not topics I just talked about. And I will say virtual staging is still hot, but if used correctly. There needs to be some guidelines set, and I'd like to see some of that, but we're not seeing it yet in the multiple listing. And I think that virtual staging is economical. It's going to get the views and it's going to get the clicks, but then you really need to bring it home if you're going to go that route to get the offer. And virtual staging helps with attractive photos. It can knock out some competition. It can at least make the phone ring for that person to go to the property. Now, when we started, this was back when the economy took a nosedive and nobody could afford a couple $1,000s for staging. And so this was another option. And my husband and I brought it about in 2006, 7, and 8. And it really took off. And because staging, we weren't hardly staging any houses, like hardly at all. And I thought, oh God, my business is done. But the virtual staging helped a lot. And then it died off and then the regular staging came back. Now I feel like the virtual is coming back once again because of AI. But agents really need to be careful and not use it as a marketing tool to deceive buyers, but use it to attract the buyers and not change anything about the property. I wouldn't do that. I just believe in the code of ethics rules and such. And just put it in the private remarks that the home has been virtually staged. Just be honest and upfront about it, because some people like to see that. And then also too, we don't do a lot of virtual staging as much as we used to, but we still do nationwide. But I always think it's super hot to actually combine home staging and virtual staging together and use it, especially for big houses that have extra rooms, that the family room with the game room and everybody playing mahjong is like really popular right now. And we've been staging more family rooms with game tables and such to accommodate that. And in some instances, if they don't want to spend the money to do that traditionally, then we'll do virtual, or I'll do a couple of free virtual exterior patio areas or a basement or a exercise room or a media room. And so they get more photos. So the agent's getting more photos to add to their listing that are furnished. It's just some is traditionally done and the others might be virtual, and it works out really well.
When would you say do not virtual stage this property?
I don't know if we've ever said do not virtually stage. I think that when it's high-end luxury homes, it would be nice to have furnishings at least in the main rooms. And then you don't need to do all the rooms of a home, which we never really do anyway on any priced home. But I would say that the virtual staging would definitely be effective there for that, especially when it's got maybe an exercise room or a game or a pool or exterior spaces or unusual spaces that they need to show. A playroom, we do kids' playrooms virtually staged, additional kids' rooms and such. So that's where I think that they definitely could use virtual staging there. I don't think there really is any property you could say not to do it. Believe it or not, we've done virtual staging even in a trailer. We've done a horse farm. We've done people want motorcycle or cars in the garage kind of thing. So it's interesting some of the requests that we get.
Like, as you said, high-end luxury properties, that's what I think. If you have a multi-million-dollar property, stage it properly. I don't think virtual staging is off the papers or shouldn't do it, but if you're trying to sell something to people, you're selling the lifestyle, you're selling the feeling of that property, it's better if it's furnished than virtually, and then they come to an empty home and like, oh my God.
The nice thing about virtual staging though is that the photos are high end, so you can print them out on 8x10. I've seen agents blow them up super big and then put them in the rooms or have them on display in the home so people can envision how it would look furnished. And the nice thing too about virtual staging as well is that we can show a room in different styles of furnishings. We can show it from different angles and show that the room could be maybe an office or a bedroom. So there's some advantages of using virtual staging that you can't exactly do in traditional. So, yeah.
What design choices are helping quietly?
I know color's making a comeback as far as design trends go. People love the trendy things like curved furnishings and they want to see accent wall. We were just talking about this again on another podcast that I did, and I think accent walls are on the way out as far as that goes. Soft curved edges, I think we're still seeing some of the homes doing archways and so hallway areas and such. Again, when selling a home, we're not decorating the home. Remember, we're staging the home. There is a difference. Decorating is for personal taste. We're taking that out when we're staging, and we want to keep it neutral. A builder might go, oh, this is going to be a fabulous kitchen, and it's an all black kitchen with a black countertop and black backsplash, and that might be great and fabulous, but not everybody's going to like a black kitchen. Again, you want to make sure you're appealing to the broadest range of potential buyers. Yes, builders have spent $10,000 on light fixtures in some of the homes that we staged, and I'm like, oh my gosh. That's the bells and whistles I think that everybody wants to see, is they want the cool drippy lights or the chandelier, that stick chandelier, or all kinds of more updated hardware, or the California closet that they went all out in the master closet area. Those are the things they're looking for. It's just be careful. I always tell people be careful with the trends. I show a lot of before and after photos in my home staging CE class, and see what happens when you paint the house white, because guess what? That Georgia clay is going to brush up there and it's going to stain the whole bottom of your house. So sometimes, those trends you have to be careful for. And again, just keeping it neutral. If they do a little bit of color, we always tell them just keep it simple, maybe on the kitchen island, but pick something. Blues or greens are always the most popular, but you have to be super careful. And hence, I do have a lot of designers that take my staging class to make sure that they don't recommend too many trendy type things, especially in new construction. Yeah, it's interesting.
Are there regional trends sellers should consider?
Trends as far as design type trends regionally, or?
From Georgia to Texas, from Texas, Arizona, you're all around the world, like all around the nation, giving interviews, talking to people from everywhere. Is there different trends in different areas that sellers should be? Not cookie cutter. We're not doing the same everywhere. We should be local. Like I'm pretty sure Santa Fe houses look totally different on the inside than Florida houses, for example.
I mean, in Florida, you're going to have a little bit more coastal appeal. You're going to have more maybe color, especially down in Miami area versus out in California. It's pretty consistent out there. It's all very neutral. The warm beiges might be coming into play. I know in Texas, pretty much the same. I always tell people Atlanta is so far, but we're always behind on everything. It takes a while. It took another year or so before the agents stopped using agreeable gray paint color. And I was like, thank God. So we went to all white, and then now the warm beigey tones are coming into play. It's possible we may go back to gray again, who knows, but not everybody's going to be excited about that. But we do keep, actually, agreeable gray is one of my paint colors we do still suggest, but again, it is different. And of course, you've got the mountainous areas, the lake areas. We definitely have to. Again, that's why home staging and I don't buy trendy furnishings, because our furniture has to be flexible. It could go from a studio that used to be an old soda pop factory in downtown Atlanta to maybe a house that is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath up in near the mountains or the lake house. And of course, we have to tweak the decor and change up the furniture a little, but our furniture is very transitional. It's very multifunctional. We can change the look sometimes simply by just changing the decor. Artwork can be changed and maybe less greenery or less boho chicy, that kind of thing. That's what's nice about the furnishings that we have, is that it can be that flexible. I can make it look more modern or make it look more traditional or give it a lake house or mountain house feel. That's a challenging part here in Atlanta, because we do have that. You can go further north, you hit the mountain, or this way east you go, it'll hit the lakes, and it does change quite a bit. So we have to stay on top of that. And that's what my designer stagers are for. I don't do it anymore. I don't stage houses anymore. That's what their job is. And then I just bought a whole bunch of bunch of pillow covers for a house that we're doing and that wants a more luxe feel. So it's simple, easy things that we can do to change a look, actually. And I always refresh our photos on our gallery page on our website too, because like I said, all the agreeable gray photos that I had that on the walls is all gone. Now it's all white walls. And if it starts to go toward another color, we'll change them again. So we try to keep our photos pretty fresh to show people what we do in different style of homes in Atlanta.
That's awesome. And if sellers only had one weekend and a small budget, what should they do first? I know you said paint earlier.
That would be number
That
one.
would be the first thing. That would be
Simple
number two.
things, yeah, simple things they could do. Obviously, you want to get a professional cleaning of your home before you sell. Cleaning is key. Paint is definitely inexpensive. Agents now can have a business account at Sherwin-Williams. They get a discount on paint. They can offer that discount to their clients too at any Sherwin-Williams store in the nation. And also hardware you can update in bathrooms. Light fixtures can be updated. If they're like, no, I don't want to spend any money on the dining room chandelier, that's going to cost me whatever. Come on, Lowe's and Home Depot, they have great deals on light fixtures. But if they don't want to spend the money and there is enough light that's coming into the house, you could easily just cap it after you remove the old fixture and then let the next buyer buy their whatever they want. Yeah, those are simple things that we always recommend.
Is that a better solution than having the old lights stay there?
If it looks grandma-ish antique, yeah, I would take it away, because it'd just be again, if it's not staged, if they're not going to spend any money, and if they're only going to do certain things, and then yeah, I would rather cap it and have it look more clean, freshly painted, and not have grandma's antique fixture, because then it's just silly little things that buyers even, well, I didn't really like the light fixture. Really? We're not selling that. We're selling the house, the basics of the house. And again, hardware, if you were like, is it brass? Is it what's in? Don't worry. The safe way to go is always warm, neutral paint colors, and brushed nickel or silver type hardware is always the safest way to go, because it never goes in, goes out. It's just brass comes in, oiled rub bronze comes in, goes out. But you're always safe to do the brushed nickel or the shiny, whichever one.
I always say remove clutter. Remove clutter in person.
If they're still living in the property, for sure. I deal a lot with vacant houses, so I'm always talking about it as if the house is vacant. But yes, we do staging consultations for our clients that have occupied homes, and we walk through each room with them and definitely give them advice on all those similar things that I just mentioned. Yeah.
So let's switch over to vacant homes. Why are vacant homes so much harder for buyers to connect with, and how do you solve that?
Because they're just looking at a bunch of empty rooms, especially online. It's hard to tell. Is it a bedroom? Is it an office? How do you know? And they're not going to know till they get there. But then when a buyer's going to walk into a vacant home, they're literally, I can time it for you because when I go look at vacant houses back in the day when I was staging, I'd be in there and looking around, taking my notes and measurements, and all of a sudden somebody would come in during the same time I'm there and they would walk in and walk. I'm like, wait a minute, where'd they go? They were already gone in like less than 2 minutes. I'm like, wow, that was fast. Now, if it's staged, oh, they're going to spend a lot more time in there. They walk around, they look at the living, the dining, the main rooms. They're going to spend way more time in there than if it wasn't staged at all and it was vacant. They're also going to focus on the flaws. They're going to notice all that right away. If the floors need to be redone or the kitchen appliances are looking a bit dated, or wow, this kitchen really needs to be renovated. They're going to think about all that. And then they're just like, you know what, let's move on to the next house. Yeah, they're not going to focus on the vacant.
Biggest mistakes agents make with empty listings.
I think the biggest mistake I saw the other day was I look up vacant listings because if we're ever quiet or slow, I'm curious to see. And if I got a package of furniture I want to take to a house, and somebody did virtual staging in the home, but one of the photos was bad, really bad. It was definitely done by AI, and the bed was facing in front of the bathroom entrance. I don't even know if they saw it, but yeah, I was like, do they know? Does the seller know that this agent is showing their property with a bed on to the entrance to the bathroom of the master bedroom, even though the wall has the really nice picture above it where the bed is supposed to go? I was like, wow, that's really bad. I would be
AI.
very disappointed. Yes, the rest of the photos looked pretty good, but that one was somebody must have done it after the fact. That was not good at all. For an agent to list a house that's vacant, you're just asking for it to stay longer days on market. You're going to make your client pay another mortgage payment and another mortgage payment. And I get calls from sellers that go, you know what? I'm so upset about this. I'm calling you because my agent, I don't understand why they didn't tell me to stage. And here I am, I'm having to switch agents and my agent's telling me you need to stage. So that's why I'm calling you. But man, I could have saved myself less days on market. I just now paid 3 more months of mortgage payment too. And you're costing your client money in some instances. Unless it's just like a most desirable neighborhood and there's no other properties or condos for sale in your area and you're the only one and it's very desirable, then maybe you don't need to stage it because you know it's going to be a quick sale. But that's got to be an agent that knows the area really well and looked at the comps and just is very confident that it doesn't need it. It's a case by case basis.
How can agents use staging to win listings before price is discussed?
Ooh, repeat that again. Sorry.
How can agents use staging to win listings before price is discussed?
Maybe in some instances, the agent might be willing to pay for the staging, whereas the next agent may not. This is actually a graphic and a survey on the profile of home staging on NAR that came up this past year that they've never asked agents about who pays for staging. And believe it or not, agents are starting to offer to pay for the staging and maybe get reimbursed at closing, which I think is interesting. Also, too, some stagers nationwide, including myself, in the past year or two, there have been some vendors that are now offering pay at close programs to vendors like stagers and photographers or painters, organizers, and such. And the nice thing is sellers can take advantage of it, but the agents can actually use it for as many listings as they like. And it makes them look really good. If the seller's, oh, okay, agent, you're going to list my property, you're going to make it look fabulous. You've got a great marketing, if they include it in their marketing plan, or maybe they include if it's an occupied home. I know a lot of agents here in Atlanta include a complimentary staging consultation that takes place before the house is listed, and thus the agent will be willing to pay for that as far as that goes. But I will say that having our quick online staging quote tool, the agents that we train, a lot of our clients, I was like, listen, you're going to look really good before your listing because you can get a quote from me on your way to the listing within 15 seconds and add your seller's email address in that quote. And guess what? It's going to be in their inbox and your inbox before you even get to the listing presentation. So if you've got your listing agreement right there to sign, they could already go and click a link in that quote email and sign our staging contract right then and there and be done. But then they don't have time to debate it. It's like right there, it's $2,700, Mr. Seller. If you go ahead and click here, you can sign it. We can get that scheduled. Here's my listing agreement, and we can do a pay at close option if you'd like. It's magic. It works out really well. And sometimes sellers are like, this sounds really good, or the other agent didn't offer me that. I'm always about having agents look really good or try to get that listing and try to get that staging, because if they get that one, then they might get several more. Or maybe it's an investor flipper that's got 4 more houses that he's got to finish he's doing the rest of the year. So they may get every one of those and we stage them all. But it can be really
That is
interesting.
awesome.
Yeah.
Those are cool services because it can get expensive. And I always say this, if the seller's reasonable with pricing, then why not cough up the money for something? A lot of times you go up against the sellers that know everything better than you do as a realtor.
Yes.
And you've probably
Yeah.
been that, you know? And you're like, my house is better than everybody else's on the house. It's, like, it's the same as that house and that house. You just furnish it differently. At the end of the day, you're like, should I spend the $3,000 on staging when I can't even reason with him in the beginning on price? It's
Right.
$50,000 over market value, and you're like, if I stage this and then he calls me at 3 months later that I'm not doing my job right and I'm not selling the property because I'm not marketing it right, now I'm out of $3,000 plus any other expense I incurred during that period of time because he's unreasonable in price. How would you make it reasonable for someone like that? Would you talk to them as a stager? Hey, look, mister, I know that it's the reason why it's not selling is that our staging.
We try not to get too involved with the agent and the pricing and such, but I do explain to sellers that may call us and be frustrated. And I was like, listen, I've had my real estate license. I did a smidge of transactions myself, and I get it. But if they're like, I got to switch to a different agent, I'm like, maybe that's a good thing. But also too, it's very possible it's not apples to apples. We might list it, we might stage it. There's no guarantee it might sell because a lot of houses, I think, I will say, at least here in Atlanta, there was a lot of cancellations for us this past year. And I think it's because millennials don't have a lot of money right now to spend on some of the houses that are under 500,000, but also too, I've seen a lot of people like taking it off the market, putting it back on, and it's a lot less. I think they were a little bit overpriced last year again, and I'm like, you can't do that. Now we're back to normalization. Everybody's got to get on the same page that marketing wise, staging wise, listing it correctly and aggressively and all that is definitely going to help sell it, but you can't overprice it right now. Not until we really start to get back to where the inventory numbers go up and up more, because right now it's just enough for buyers to have a nice option, some more options, but we're still trying to get back to that normalization, I think, right now. Yeah.
I think so too. We need to get that inventory not up, down.
We're getting there, but we're
yeah.
still a long way to go. We still got a long way, at least from the numbers, 20 years in the business, it did this and then it did this, and now it's going back like this. So we keep hoping that it's going to keep rising and never be as bad as 9, 10, 11. I don't think we'll ever see that again, but we just have to, again, we always have to go with the flow and cater to our clients the best of our ability. And I literally sometimes am on the phone for a long time talking it through with sellers, and I just want to keep them like, that's okay. Stay positive. There are plenty of buyers out there. Atlanta's a top 10 city to move to. There's always people coming and going, and they're like, oh, I hope so. I'm like, yeah, you can't stress out about it. We always have to keep moving on. And if I got to shave off a couple $100, I own all my furniture. I have the flexibility to do that. If somebody's got 2 houses they want to stage, and then around Christmas time and Thanksgiving, we always give discounts because we know people are a little tight on monies, or we try to convince them to go ahead and stage now and not wait till spring season when the more competition comes on the market. So the nice thing is my husband and I, we want to work together with our clients as a team. And if they're like, listen, can you just, or I'm paying for it, I'm the agent, can you give me a little discount? I'll do a little here and there, or I'll throw in a free office space. We want to work together with them. We won't say, no, sorry, we don't do that. Click. That's not how to do it. The agents are trying to make money, we're trying to make money, and sellers are just trying to sell their homes and move on with their lives. We want to make that happen. And that's part of me waking up every morning. I never know what to expect when I wake up. Anything can happen. So it makes it fun and interesting, and we enjoy.
So
What?
next segment is
Yeah.
rapid fire.
Oh, gosh.
Okay? Short answers on all these questions. One staging trend you love right now.
Ooh, the game room, the family game rooms, because the mahjong and all the games and family. I just love making a home feel like a family home when people walk into. So yeah, that's hot right now.
One trend you would wish it would disappear.
One trend. Oh, we were talking about that. Soft,
You wish
curvy. Yeah, soft, curvy furniture. I didn't buy any, and I still haven't bought any. So it's in, but it'll be out before the end of the year. Yeah, that's gone. That'll be gone soon.
one thing every agent should understand about buyer perception.
Most of them have no imagination how to lay out a space. Majority of them don't. Yeah.
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 Imagination is one thing. I experience that in the construction world now more and more frequently. Like I'm trying to verbally lay out the plan and everything. Could you show me a picture? Could you show me a picture?
Yeah.
So I have to come home and either generate it with AI or draw it out and then generate it with AI and then bring them a picture. This is how it's going to look. Like exactly how I explain it verbally, but no imagination. That happens so often nowadays. It's crazy. Christina, you also host design and staging webinars for agents and sellers. Tell everyone what they'll learn and where they can find you.
So actually, if they follow me on Instagram, it's my name, Christina, but it's Krisztina. Bell is the last name, Krisztina Bell. On Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, it's pretty consistent. Even on LinkedIn, I do some webinars talking about hot design topics. And if they want to DM me or get on my email list, I'm happy to send out. We do have some agents nationwide that come on in some instances. We talk sometimes about paint colors. I do sometimes some webinars with the Sherwin-Williams or Benjamin Moore representatives. It just depends. Every other month or so, I try to do another one. Here in Atlanta, we've been doing lots of tour and talks. And if somebody just for kicks wants to hop on, I don't do a lot of my CE classes on Zoom, but toward the end of the year, like November, December this past year, we did 2 of them. I did one on Zoom, and sometimes we get some people out of state, even in Florida. Now, I will admit, my home staging CE class has been approved down in Florida. I just don't have a school yet to hang it, and I haven't done it, and I'd have to go do it in person. And so I still keep it active. It's just I haven't gotten that far yet to actively start teaching the course in Florida yet. But yeah, design webinars, all kinds of different type of topics. I've got a YouTube channel that has some other past webinars that are up there too that they can take a look at. It's my name again, all across the board on the social media platforms.
That's awesome, Christina. All of those will be in the show notes underneath in the description. If you're serious about selling homes faster, standing out in crowded markets, and elevating your brand as an agent, staging is no longer optional, it's strategic. Huge thank you to Krisztina Bell for sharing 2 decades of insights into what actually moves buyers to action. If you found value in today's episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with another agent or seller who needs to hear it. I'm Lancelot Lenard, and this is the Real Estate Roundtable, where strategy meets execution. Until next time, stay sharp and sell smart. Thank you, everybody.